So we're going to look at this page and score it based on these questions. Okay. Now, this is the total amount of points that we've got based on the rankings. Okay. So if I change that to a 1, you'll see that drop down. Now we're going to get the score here. So number 1, what does this company do? Pretty obvious. There's a photo of a dog and it says grooming, right? Check. Where do they operate? They don't actually say that here. Once you book, then you are asked where. So I'm going to call that a fail. Will my dog be loved, well looked after? There is nothing on here that this photo doesn't really count. This is clearly a stock photo. It looks like a stock photo. I don't see any of their stuff with their own dogs or interacting with these dogs. I don't really see anything. Oh, and I guess I have these, but they're very close up. There's no like context. You want to step back. You want a couple of photos like this. Yeah, that's not really being achieved here. And if it is in the text, no one's going to read all of this. Not for that kind of thing. That's the kind of mental thing you want checked off just by virtue of scanning through the page. So I'm going to leave that as a fail. Are these guys good at what they do? Again, there's really nothing here that shows me whether or not they're good at what they do. Animates is a household name, but it's more for the pet food than the grooming. Is this company aimed at me, as in the types of breeds and the types of dogs? Okay, well, it says the price of our grooming is based on the size of your dog, their breed, and coat, which is this price range here, but it doesn't tell me what breeds they do. It might just be all of them, but I don't know. Other websites do mention it. So, a fail. Can I trust them? Well, I don't see any testimonials. I have some nice photos here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that makes me trust them. Where to from here? Okay, well, there are big call to actions everywhere. Buy now. Book now. So, check. Can you take large breeds? We already established they don't tell us which breeds specifically. Business hours, I think, is hidden behind the book now. Might be hidden behind 2 clicks. 3 clicks. 4 clicks. 5 clicks? Is that 8:15? What is that? I think it's like 90 minutes. That's a fail. What is the best service or package for me? They definitely fail. This is really hard to understand. Are you certified? I didn't see anything about that on here. Bonuses or giveaways? No. Do you cage the dogs? They don't answer that either. How expensive are they? They do answer that. What if my dog is bitey? Nope. Don't answer it. 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 Can I ask a quick question? There is no chat, no leave a message, no phone number. Can I stay while my dog is groomed? They don't answer that. What types of products and shampoos? Gift vouchers? Nope. Nope. Okay, so they scored 12 out of 90. So that is a huge opportunity to make this better. Massive. And that's how you need to look at this, rather than what most people do is you will look at the existing page and you'll try to get a feel of what they're saying and showing versus what they're not saying and showing based on all of the past projects you've ever done. And that's fine, and that's really what these green questions are about. But look how many are here that aren't green. So there's 4 that have come out at 5 points, and 2 of these are not green. That is a very eye-opening exercise, and it does not take you long. My time is at 43 minutes right now, and I've probably fluffed around a little bit too, speaking out loud, saying what I'm doing. It's taking longer. The next step is to start scribbling, start making a wireframe. This is kind of the fun part, right? We get to take all of this and start moving things around in a really messy board, in a Miro board or something like that, so we can start to paint the picture. I've got the original page here, and I'm just going to start putting stuff in here right next to it. Doesn't need to be tidy at this point. The first thing I notice is that we have this H1 title, grooming. So title that speaks to What's the title going to speak to? We have the opportunity to answer more of these questions in this copy. We don't want it to be crazy long, but we can do better than just grooming. We've established that these are the 4 most important things. I'm going to focus on this one. Will my dog be well looked after and loved? We don't need to write the copy right now. We can just say dog grooming title that speaks to love and care. I still can't touch type after. Now, they don't currently have copy underneath the H1, so we have an opportunity to answer some questions here as well. One of the things that was addressed a little bit by the other companies was the range of dogs or breeds. So we, could say subtitle that speaks to range of dog breeds. Now, the next thing I notice is this photo here, which is a really nice photo, a stock photo. But again, speaking to the love and care aspect of the page, we could use a photo that answers this question better by showing real staff working with a real dog. In other words, we can use photography that looks real as opposed to something that looks like filler. So I found this photo. I don't think this is a good photo for a hero. It's not composed well enough, I suppose. But for now, we're going to leave this here. So this indicates the type of image we want in the hero. Whether or not this will even be the layout, who knows, Now they also have this banner here, which pencil banners are a great way to call out topical things or special offers, anything like that. On a retail clothing store, you might see free shipping or 20% off with this coupon code or something like that. These guys are using it for their pet store stuff. Save 20% off with repeat delivery. Not really too relevant to this page, so we could do better. There's a few things we could address in here, such as the locations that we service and the fact that our dog groomers don't use cages. Again, these are all coming from this list. 29 locations NZ-wide doesn't actually answer the question, do you operate in my area? But I can't really list all of the areas in a pencil banner, so that might be a good link to answer that question. Again, we're not writing the copy here, we're just leaving notes so that we know what we need to get in here. So this is already starting to look a lot more relevant. Now, another thing that we can squeeze into the hero area is any icons or logos that are relevant to us. If you were a service company or a software company, you might have logos of your customers. Not really applicable here, but what I did see was these little certification logos. I don't know how important these are yet, but for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to assume that these are relevant. Something I would hopefully know if I was a bit closer to this company or industry. So I can put these in here. And we're going to have some kind of call to action here. We'll figure that out soon, what that will be. Okay, that's already starting to look quite targeted and quite effective. We've got a nice title that speaks to the love and care. The photo supports it. You can see straight away that we operate nationwide. We don't use cages, again, going for that love and care message. We're even hitting on the breeds and the certifications. All of those things answered in this space here, which is pretty incredible. Okay, so what have we answered so far? What does this company do? Dog grooming that speaks to love and care. That's fantastic. Where do they operate? We've started to answer that here. Will my dog be well looked after and loved? We want to hit that straight away because that's a very important one. We will do that more, but we've already started to. Are these guys good at what they do? So for that, we need some kind of testimonials or before and after photos as well would really help. Now, I found this on another site, so I'm just going to paste this here for now. Again, we will have to remake this to fit our page and our styling, but combining this with some testimonials underneath it as well is a very effective way. This also shows real photos. Real photos over stock photos is always a huge win. People get sick of clear marketing stuff. Reviews / testimonials. I don't know if that needs to go right underneath the hero. I mean, it's very high on our list. That doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be at the top. We'll figure that out as we go though. What I want to do next is start to replace this intro section and the services. The services is a really, that's the key part here, right? After we've put their mind at ease and made them feel comfortable with us as a company, we need to make it as easy as possible for them to get started. I'm going to put a quick piece of intro copy here, and I'm going to stick with the theme of love and care. I'll say something like, our team are all dog obsessed. What else can we get in here? Large breeds, business hours, best package, certified. We've hit on that. I think the breeds one is good. We've mentioned it in the hero. There's breeds and sizes and temperaments of these dogs. So I could say, our team are all dog obsessed. This won't sound lovely and smooth yet. We can groom dogs of all breeds and sizes. If we want to touch on the puppy thing as well, we could even say, this includes your little puppy. That's worded terribly, but for now, that's okay. And then we need to look at the services. So the reason I really don't like these, one, if you're going to line them side by side, they all need to be side by side so you can compare horizontally the rows. But also these guys they've kind of done it backwards because they've got the common things at the bottom and then they're building up from there. If there are going to be things that are common between each card, we would expect that to be a top-down list, and you would expect the things to align. So we've got towel dry here, but towel dry is down here, and then towel dry is up here. So I can't make that connection with my eye. So it should be shampoo at the top, and it will be the same on each card. Shampoo, 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 towel dry, towel dry, towel dry, until you reach the end of this list. Then you'll see the extra stuff on top of that. So let's have a quick go at that now. Now, 3 in a row is ideal. That's what they've done here. I know why they've done that, because any more than on different screen sizes, it's going to be really hard to look at these. These guys have, okay, so there's a few things here. This puppy one is kind of its own unique thing, but it looks like bath and blow dry is the root of all of these services, right? So you have shampoo, towel, air, blow dry. That's on all of these. And then we're building up from there. So really we need these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 side by side. We can make it scrollable. Now, whenever you are having a side scrolling row like this, where some items are not visible, you need to make sure that part of the last item is peeking out from the edge. Okay, something like that. Straight away you can see, there's more here. The second thing is the range. So that price range is based on the size and breed of the dog. So this is where the price is sitting. So this is where we need to say these things. I don't think I have put here how long it will take as well. A few things we can add here in the small copy, because the price is here, and then we have a few little notes. Takes 30 minutes to 1 hour. All grooms are CCTV filmed. Yeah, that's a good few little notes to have there. Again, doesn't mean we won't mention these anywhere else. I'm just going to add a wee title here. Now, another thing you see on tables like this, where you're comparing a bunch of packages or features and you're not sure which one is right for you, often you will see things like package A, best suited for this. Package B, best suited for this. So there might be something in that. So I will add a wee note above. If we really want to get into each item, we could, for each one of these, link to some before and after photos. This is where the question becomes, how many assets do you have to work with and how much time are you going to put into this? I'll show you what that could look like. I'll call it see past examples. For now, that's okay. See past examples. So a really good way, I can show you how that might function as well. So a really good way of making sure you hit all of the info, all of the data you need to without cluttering up the page, but without having to send them away to another page. So you've got your wee link and you just have a nice narrow modal here with your data in it. Nice and easy. So we're just slowly filling this page up with value, just cramming it in there. Now, this already looks infinitely better than what we have on the left. I haven't added the book now button, but as you can see, I can compare line item by line item. I can see how many extra things I'm getting in each package. I can see the price, obviously. There's a few notes here talking about what this range means. It's based on the size or the breed. So if you have a big dog, you might think, okay, probably going to be 80. It takes 30 minutes to 1 hour. Again, big dog, probably an hour. All grooms are CCTV filmed. There's a few little notes I could add in there. I don't want to go overboard at this point. And see past examples is a really neat way of, giving them that reassurance and answering that question, which is, are they good at what they do? We've said we groom dogs of all breeds and sizes. We've mentioned it here as well. So I think, is it aimed at me? We can check that off. Can I trust this company? We have the gallery and the social proof here. I think we can check that off. Where to from here? Well, that's really what these packages are. So I need to add the call to action. So I'm just going to say, okay, so that's starting to look really clean and easy to understand. Tall, I don't want it too tall, but we'll get to that once we start making it look nice. But we've missed something out. We've missed the puppy thing. So I feel like that can be a separate thing. It's not moving up or down the ladder in terms of the services. There's just, hey, if you've got a puppy, this is an introduction groom. Here's this one thing we can do. So puppy package. That's all I need to say for now. How experienced are the groomers? So, we've touched on the breeds and, different size dogs. That's fine. Now we need to take the focus off of the dogs and put it more on the staff and the groomers. And the tricky thing here is that this page is talking about a range of stores, a range of branches, right? If I click book now, there's all of these different locations and they're all going to have their own staff and that kind of thing. So we can't really speak to every one of those stores, not at this step anyway. Maybe what we could do is call out some of our featured staff just to give an idea. Again, because this is all about just building the trust. They don't need to know exactly who their dog's going to see yet, but they need to know that at this company, these are the types of people that we hire to do this thing. So we talk about the dogs. Our team are all dog obsessed. We can groom dogs of all breeds and sizes. So that to me feels like a nice place to continue that conversation. I don't want it to be anything that pushes these services down too far though, because I don't want these to end up being way down the bottom of the page, because this is the meat. This is what we want them to see. We want something small, vertically small, like a wee strip that speaks to it. Maybe we could try something like this. Again, it's about visuals as well. People, they scan and then they read if they feel like it's justified based on what they've seen. They're not reading a book. I liked the groomers and their own dogs thing. I thought that was really cool. So you could have a photo of one staff member with their dog, and you could say Shelley and Scruff, right? Shelley and her dog Scruff. And then use this as an opportunity. So we could use this as an opportunity to then speak to the experience of Shelley. X years of experience, etc. That does sound like we're saying Shelley and her dog have X years of experience, which would be strange. So maybe we just say Shelley Logan. We can just include the photo of her dog. Yeah, X years of experience. Now, some of these things, like I'm not too sure about this. I'm going to leave it there for now. And when I'm putting together the design, it might become clear if this works or not. Yeah, sometimes you need to get a bit further and see if it feels weird or not. How experienced are the groomers? Check. Some of these we can put in an FAQ as well, but that doesn't mean we don't want to answer them on the page. So a bitey dog, a dog with special needs. Can I stay while it's being groomed? That could relate to those. You might want to stay if you think your dog has special needs. So, oh, we forgot something. All of these treatments here. Treatments, other services, surcharges, that really belongs underneath here. So then the challenge becomes, will anyone even see this, our gallery? There's a few ways to solve that. We could stick a sticky nav in the page. So that's the navigation that sticks to the top of the page as you scroll so that it calls out certain pieces of content on the page. Or we can try and link from other places on the page. This would be a good place here. So we've got this title for our services. We can also say, see our doggy gallery. That sounds pretty silly, I know, but I'm just trying to remind myself that it needs to sound appealing, I suppose. So you're looking at your services. I've got the data. I want to see some of these, so that might take me down here. It's normally about 20% of people will make it to a reasonably long landing page if it's a good one. It can be far less than that. And these can cycle as well. We don't just have to have one image here. Is your space clean and healthy? I'm hoping we've answered that by showing our space in these photos. Is it recorded? Yes, and we have answered that. Business hours. So, that is important. This is an interesting one. That is very important, but I don't think it's that important to answer at this stage of their journey. They're going to have to pick a location. They're not going to change their location based on the opening hours because there's probably one location that they can access that's close to them. So I think we can leave that until they're at that stage. Where does this company operate? So we've said 29 locations NZ wide. This is a link. Feel like this can fire this. We could just show them a list of locations, but we may as well use this part of the journey, which is clicking the location that you want and making a booking. I think everything after here could be a heck of a lot better. I don't know. EasyBook, obviously they're using some kind of booking system. I'm not going to even touch that. That's a whole separate thing. We could use location detection as well, based on IP address, that kind of thing. But for now, I'm just going to keep it simple. A bitey dog, a special needs dog. Can I stay with my dog? I want to address that. We're now on the verge of FAQ territory. FAQs, it can be a bit of a cop-out, to be honest. And you can include things in the page, like, I've mentioned here that all grooms are CCTV filmed. That can still go in the FAQ. It just means we don't only want to put it there because not everyone's going to read that. It's like the last line of defense. You should think of it that way. So I'll put that there. I still want to try and answer these questions somewhere else as well. So now another thing is, how can I ask a question now, which we have on here somewhere. A couple of ways to do that. The bottom right sort of chat bubble. If you don't have someone that can man a chatbot, you can still hook this up to take messages while you're offline. Send them to your inbox. It depends how you're even building this thing. If it's in a platform like Wix, which is basically a full marketing automation platform, it'll pop into your Wix admin area and you'll probably get a text or an email notification depending on how it's set up. Very easy to install these things these days. There's no real excuse not to have one. So that would kind of float on the bottom right over the content. Depending on how you want to track conversions, you can put your phone number here as well. If I build a page that's fantastic and it really sells the package and then they make a phone call, if I'm not able to attribute that phone call to this page visit, then it's not going to show in the data as a win for this page. If you can, then I would 100% put the phone number there, because then you're catering for people who like to call and people who hate calling, and there's a lot of those people. And there are services out there that will create a unique phone number for you that will route to your normal phone number so that you can track which one came from the page. Typically on a landing page as well, you won't have your primary navigation. I mean, it depends on what your goals are and what the type of company is, but on a lot of squeeze pages, landing pages, you don't need the full site navigation because you don't actually want them to leave. You want them to be sold here and to reach out here. It's different, again, depending on a whole bunch of variables. I'm going to treat this as if we aren't including the full nav here. It's starting to look good. I mean, it looks messy as heck, but I can see where this is going. Do I need to bring anything other than my dog? That's the perfect example of a piece of content that you can display once they make their booking. It's not something we need to answer for them to feel comfortable reaching out, and that's what we're trying to do. But it is useful for them once they've made the booking. You could have a little page or a confirmation email that says, great, we're looking forward to seeing you. Please make sure you bring X, Y, and Z. Gift vouchers. This button's going to say something like book now. We could say book now or gift this groom. Airline companies, hotel companies, the Trivagos, Booking.com, Hotels.com, they look quite messy sometimes, but it's really effective. They have all these little secondary, tertiary calls to actions and reminders. And it's like the little small text things that are everywhere. All of these little nudges. 5 people are looking at this hotel right now, or this one's running out fast. Only 3 flights left at this price, that kind of thing. Just pay attention when you're on those sites. You can learn some good lessons. That's kind of the layer after what we're doing right now. Scarcity, incentivization, that kind of thing. That's kind of the layer after this, which I can... Okay, so we've got quite a different looking page here. Some really solid stuff. I think we've hit on everything. The next step is to start mocking this up like high def. Now, if you're using a site builder, you might just jump straight in and start dragging things around. They're going to have existing modules that solve some of these problems. For example, looking at this here, you might be using Wix and you might think, okay, well, is there a module here in Wix that has 6 columns and takes 1 image and a little title and some text? So you might drop that in the page, and then you're kind of working that way, seeing what they have and trying to get as close as we can. This is in no way of design. It's just a really rough wireframe. Now the footer, I don't know what we're going to do with the footer yet. I'll just put it like that. I think we're done for this step. Is there anything we've missed? Social, we could put our social feed on there. We still need to write actual copy too. And that's one thing that is very light here, is the copy. And I think that's good for a page like this. I don't think we need loads and loads of copy. So we have 2 steps left. One is to design it and then to write it. And I know that sounds a little bit backwards, but the reason we want to design it before we write it is because we've created a kind of text skeleton here. So we've written what we want to write about. So then we can design it keeping in mind how long we think that copy might be. And then I like to actually polish that copy at the end. You can do it the other way if you want. I don't think it really matters. I wouldn't jump straight into designing something if we hadn't thought through the content like this. So let's do the next step.